Oh. Alright, is this thing working? I mean, it looks like it's working. That's good. Ahoy! Ahoy there. I was gonna work on Path of Senshi a little bit. It's been a little bit of a couple days. So it's been a couple days since I hopped back in. And there is a reason why that it was taking me a couple days. And that is because I was stuck in my Path of Senshi journey. I was stuck thinking about some very specific things about the game mechanically, and it's going to be a lot of work to go in like one direction or another. So within that difficulty of going in one direction or another, I was kind of just like stumped a little bit thinking about the combat cards and things like that. Yeah. So because like I had those conversations with my brother. Those were available for anyone who saw that. And it really made me think a lot about certain aspects of the game more deeply. Specifically, around the combat cards, right? So, the original combat cards for the game were like high cut, middle cut, low cut, or like high slash, middle slash, low slash, high thrust, middle thrust, low thrust. Those are the sort of attacks that I had within the game, and those were represented by like, I don't know why this thing is like stuck here, but it might go away, it might not, I don't know. Oh, there, maybe. I'd like to make this go away, that'd be great. Okay, yeah, that thing is just glitched out. I don't know what the deal is with that. But so high slash or high cut in this example, this blue one means cut. You didn't really need to remember the name, but the point is that this is a cut attack. Okay, this was represented by these slashes of like what direction the attack was coming from. So sometimes the attack would come from this like high direction, sometimes it would come from like a low direction and not the high direction, right? And when that happens, the other player has to respond defensively. They have to be like, oh, I'm going to defend against the low attack or something like that. That's like the original premise of like the combat cards. So I was at this like crossroads where, you know, I mean, it can get complicated in the sense of how much you want to put on the card. Like, I don't want to put too much on the card. Originally, it was very simple. Originally, it was close range. I'm at close range, and this is a high attack. That was originally the premise, right? So, and the person would have to defend. And those are really, like, the only things that were on the card in terms of, like, the actual combat. It was very simple, but I think there is a level of depth that I'd like it to get to more, at least more like creatively, where these areas would be like, oh, I can chain into this attack, or I can chain into a different attack. Like, I can do different attacks from different like stances. Okay, I did a high attack, now I can do a side attack, or I go from a high attack into a low attack. That would be like, I'm chaining. But there was a question of, is chaining the same, like, is it the same thing as just like playing a card even if the player defends? Like, okay, I play an attack card, they defend, and then I could just now play another attack card, because the offense player has to play all the attack cards in their hand, basically. So I play my attack card, and then they defend. If they didn't chain, then I have to play my next attack card. Like, I have to play out my hand of attack cards, basically. And what's the benefit of doing that instead of chaining? But chaining was supposed to be, you're getting abilities from and like an enemy. I'm sorry. You're getting your abilities from the weapon that you're using, like the weapon that you're using. So I'm using a katana. I use a cut attack. I'm gaining the ability while using the katana for this specific type of attack. This attack, or other types of attacks, depending on if it works. If it works for the weapon. So the cut attack works for the katana. And it was very basic. It was cut attack works for katana, slash attack works for naginata, and like so on and so forth. Where it was like one weapon had its type of color. And I think that is a very like clear way to like enter the game concept. Like I want to grab blue attack cards, and I'm a naginata player. I want to grab red attack cards. Like, I think that's a very like clear cycle of what you should be looking for as you're getting cards from the deck. But I wanted to add like a secondary layer, you know, like for like maybe branching out and trying to like split among different, like playing different cards. Like that was what I wanted to add in. Like some like, okay, if I play this blue cut attack and I want to go into like a yellow strike, that could be a chain in and of itself. Like that can be something for like a player that can understand the game from a higher level would understand. You know what I mean? So basically this like you would do a cut attack and I want to chain it into a strike, which is a yellow attack. Like that would be a little more complicated in terms of like how you're building your deck. Like, oh, I want to build my deck like this. But the basic fundamentals are, if I want to build my deck, I'll grab blue cards to include in it. It makes it a very clear path for like a newer player. But if you wanted to branch out, there might be a combo between a blue cut and like a yellow strike, or a blue cut and a yellow or red slash, or something like that. Like I think that would be at a more advanced level of playing. Like, but if you're just picking the game up, you could just grab colors of the same type of card, and your deck would work pretty well. And at least that's the level I want to make it or think about it. I want it to be like that. Have those two levels where a younger, like a newer player can still understand it by just grabbing the colors and still get a pretty solid build. But like me and my brother were talking about, it could be challenging trying to balance it, and that's where I've been stuck the past couple days. I've been thinking about that, like, oh, okay, like which way do I want this game to go? You know, because once you go down the rabbit hole of a type of game, then it'll just get more and more complex, and then you'll just get like more and more into it, and you'll be like, is this what I want to do? And it does use a ton of time, so this is like a crossroads moment, in my opinion, for what direction I want the game to go. So anyways, so the difference I was thinking to add was, do I want to keep it as high cut, mid cut, low cut, or high slash, mid slash, low slash, like different directions of attacks. Like I do a high slash, this is a high cut in this example because it's blue, but this is like a high cut. Do I want to keep it like that, or add in like a name for the attack? Like this one could be like Musashi's Judgment or something like that. I just thought I just wrote up a whole bunch of pretty cool names that I was thinking of that would correspond with like the masters of that type of weapon at that time, like the legends of that type of weapon at that time. I think that would be cool, but I kind of like in some ways that it's like high cut, low cut, or something like that, because it feels realistic when it's in that situation. So it's been a little difficult choosing between the two. The only extra benefit I see from using the name, like a name like Musashi's Judgment, is I could make different attack cards with the same power, but with different names without it being confusing. Like high cut, what would be like another high, like what I can't use high slash because I'm using it as a different attack. I can't use high strike. I don't know, I just think it would be confusing. I don't want to blend it where it's like you can't, a player that's playing it can't just build a deck easy with like, oh, I'm grabbing these types of attacks, these blue attacks, these high cuts, these middle cuts. You know what I mean? So really, that's the ultimate challenge. I don't want to go down that direction. But the benefit of using the names is I can make two types of attacks that are similar, like, but they both are just high attacks, and it doesn't specify, so it doesn't like confuse the player by saying, oh, high cut, and then I'll play high cut, and then I'll play high cut. So it doesn't feel as like, because you could literally just change the name and it wouldn't feel as weird. You know what I mean? Like if you have 3 high cuts and they all do the same thing, or they do different things, it doesn't matter. It's still confusing to just have the same name for a card. Especially when you're comboing into that. Like, you're like, oh, I want a chain. I'll do high cut, high cut, high cut. It's like, okay, that sounds really interesting, but it doesn't actually. It sounds like dumb. It sounds dumb. It doesn't sound cool. I play Musashi's Judgment, and then Koshiro's Disabler or something. Like, I don't know, just cool ass attack names. I think that just sounds better. But yeah. But the original idea of this game, when I've been putting it together, has been, do I want to keep it as like kind of sticking to like a martial arts like standard? I mean, it still keeps that element within the game. Even with changing the name, I think it still does. But yeah, that's definitely been a huge thought on my mind the last couple of days. And then my brother was talking about all these combos and stuff, and I was like, damn, I don't think it's got to be that deep. I mean, to an extent it does, but like the way that he was explaining it sounded like insane. But might not have been that crazy. I don't know. Bradley thinks deep about these things. He thinks way deeper than sometimes I can in terms of like mechanically, because like, he's like really good at like strategy games and stuff like that. I'm not really good at stuff like that. But like I'm a good deck builder guy. You know, like I can build decks. I can balance a game without having to like, I don't feel like I gotta go through every math equation of the game to figure out how it feels. Like I feel like you could like feel the game out, and you can kind of like, that's how we've always done it our whole lives. We just dial it. We just dial it in. We're like, oh, like we're not figuring the whole game out like a freaking math equation. Like, who the hell wants to do that all day? That sounds boring as hell. Nah. Instead, just like change up the names. Yeah. I've almost committed to this, but I think I should ask one of my other buddies about it. Todakatsu's Fury. Todakatsu's Rib Splitter. Yeah, and I tried, maybe the names would be different, but I tried to make it like the names of the hero or the person that was the master of that weapon would be in the same vein. You see that? So like high strike, high cut, and all that would all have the same name, so there's like at least that correlation. And then it kind of makes sense, like, oh, I'm training at these schools, and like I don't know the actual names of the you know, the moves in Japanese. I wouldn't be able to figure that out, to be honest with you. So I am making my own thing up in some ways for this, but these are made up. The names are made up. They're you know, they're supposed to be heroes. I gotta check a little more into their background. I only did like a very brief search for that. A very brief search. But anyways. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep going with the name. So what I'm trying to do here is I was trying to think, okay, I have this blue cut, like I have this blue cut ability. Do I want to give this like a different combination here? Like, is this where that enhanced ability of the attack card would be? I think this, hold on a sec. Yeah. Do I want this to be like a combo off of the cut? Like, I feel like I would, but I don't know if I'd want it to be. See, this is where I was stuck. I was like, am I gonna make it the same color? Because the original offensive technique, okay? This is the original offensive technique. Kind of, not really. This part's new. This part's new. Actually, this is actually missing a whole bunch of stuff, so it's actually a terrible example. I actually do need to look at that, though, even for myself. I don't remember every single thing as I work through a lot of this stuff, to be honest with you. Sometimes you gotta, like, snap back into these projects after not touching them for a little bit. This is not the actual, what the original combat technique looked like, but this is kind of how it was, though. It was high cut mixes with regular cut, and I think that I'm gonna keep that same. Oh shit, I guess that's fine over there. Actually, it's not really fine. Hold on a second. What the hell is this thing doing? Hey. Nice. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I was gonna try to keep the same logic. Let me get this one I was working with back. Here we go. So maybe I just make it like vague like that. Like, oh, here's the blue. You can chain into blue cut. Like any blue cut. Yeah, literally maybe it's that simple. Maybe I don't even include this stuff. Or I just include all of it. That's every direction. I don't really want that. Actually, I was thinking about something like that, as a matter of fact. I forgot. That's why I had it all put together. Because this would be like, oh, this attack is like a... Since you're like... It's enhanced. It's like an enhanced attack. Enhanced technique. That's what my brother was talking about. He's definitely right about that. I would love to have like an enhanced technique, you know? Like depending on what weapon you were using. Okay, so I was using like the katana and I chained it. I get this like enhancement where you have to... The next defense would have to be a stronger defense. See? I think that makes perfect sense. I think that makes perfect sense to make the defense a little more interesting. I think it makes perfect sense. I might even just keep it just like that. Huh. Yeah. Anyways, so... Yeah, so this bottom part is gonna be maybe like a strike, I'd say. I'd say this one would be like a strike. But the thing is, I might have to like distinguish between the colors, you know? Am I gonna should I make the middle color be like a different color to kind of like how am I gonna signify on the weapon card? How am I going to signify on the weapon card what effect you're obtaining at what level, you know? So the katana, if it was like level 3 and you had this unlocked, like how am I going to identify? Maybe I just put like the text like adept or something. Cause like that's kind of how it works. Damn, my mouth is like dry as shit. I gotta fucking get a drink. I don't know where I'm not gonna get up right now though. I'm not gonna get up right now. Um. Yeah. This here. I just gotta get the text, which I think is. It should just be right here. It might be locked. Maybe. Yeah, it was. Alright, so this I would be like, oh, add it, you know? Let's see. Nah, I probably wouldn't move that stuff up anyway. Let's just make this smaller. But why is it not right on top? Let's see. It's the layering. Yo, this thing that just got stuck around is definitely the most annoying thing ever in my way. What the hell? Oh, there we go. There we go. Alright. Yeah, so maybe something like that. I don't know why that's doing that. Really annoying. That's doing that. Little bastard. You little bastard. Ah. There we go. Nice. Just put that right in the middle. Apologize. Sorry. Yeah, so this would be maybe like I don't know, I forgot what level you get at master. Let's move this stuff up. Something like that. That's actually not even too bad. I'm not even unhappy about that. I'm not unhappy. That actually seems fine to me. And then I can grab some of these strikes. Let's see. Um. Strike. There it is. Yeah, we can just put 2 of them in here, I guess, right? Next one. Hey, cooperate, please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, so this will have 2 abilities, right? Because now you're the master. I think this makes a ton of sense, dude. This makes so much sense. This makes so much sense, it makes me feel happy. It makes me feel like I'm finally getting past the block I was in the past few days. It's really great. It's good stuff. Yeah, that's pretty good, right? That's close enough. Close enough, I guess. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet, dude. Pretty sweet, dude. Yeah, that was great. That was great. I'm crying. Now, what does this mean, though? What does this mean now? You know what? I don't think the adept one should have that. I think it should be handicapped a little bit. And then these ones down here will be OP. You know what I mean? Because now you're the master. Now you're the fucking master, bro. Fucking master, bro. Mastered it. Fucking mastered it. That's great. That actually looks kind of crazy. It's not exactly it, you know? It's not exactly it, but I like where it's going. I like where it's heading. It's like almost there. Maybe if I just put these on the outside, that'd be really interesting, right? But not quite right. You know what I mean? You know what I'll do? Oh, that's such a good idea, man. Fuck. Fucking. Just had such a good idea. I mean, if I could make the sizes work. Is this thing gonna move? What the fuck? You little bastard. And then, like, what I'll do, you know, I'll make these ones the yellow. That'd be sick, right? That'd be sick, bruh. Oh, it didn't like that. It just made them evil. What the hell? There we go. Bro. Not exactly it, but that could be cool. I meld these as one. I meld them into each other. Does that do anything for us? Where'd it go? Why does it just disappear? Oh, because it's doing that thing again that I don't like that it does. Oh. Surprised how late it gets, you know, the days fly by as they do. Every day. Just a little faster. It's actually crazy. Maybe we do like a little overlap. That could be interesting, right? Maybe not. Maybe if this one was like solid. I don't think I could do that at this point though, and I really don't feel like going all the way back to do that. I really don't want to do that. So I might have to work around that somehow. Bro, that looks so sick. It looks so sick. I think it makes sense, you know? So, is a close range attack. It is a high cut. Musashi's Judgment. It's basically a high cut. I'm gonna send this over to my brother. What do you think about it? Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense there. I think that's a good one. I think the rest of the cards are going to be like that. So yeah, so I think this makes sense. I think something like this makes sense. Maybe the name, not exactly. Maybe the name, but the overall everything else about it. Everything else about it is fine, I think. I have to think about what that master would mean. Like, is that like oh, I play a cut and a strike card, and they're both like attacks you have to defend against? Is it like a fusion? No, can't be a fusion. Maybe then like that attack, like you chaining into that attack type. Maybe that the weapon gets the all around effect. I think that makes sense. I think this makes a ton of sense. I think this is very, very productive. I'm very happy that I had this moment. to figure this out. Because I telling you, man, I was stuck. I was stuck in the rut. 4 days almost, 3 or 4 days. I was stuck in the rut. But now everything's gonna be better. Thanks to you. Thank you so much for everything. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here for this this time that we spent, this brief time. I need a little more. I need to delve into this, into the thinking about this a little more. But I think this is a good direction. And if you disagree, tell me. Tell me that you disagree. But I think this is right, and I think this looks sick. And if you like how that looks, you could also tell me if you want to. I appreciate it. Anyways, adios. I'll see you next time.